Alright folks, the SDP WZ66 Grom, it means thunder in Polish, but Premium Tier 8 Polish 𝗚𝗿cie𝗺. It's kind of funny that we're likely going to see this vehicle about half a year after the debut of the Polish TDs. So this will go on to the common test around July or August, and then come out in September for Waffentrager boxes or something. So it will be a while, but like any other medium tank chassis based 𝗚𝗿cie𝗺 with a large caliber gun, it is aggressive, it is in your face with a big caliber gun, but damage drop off is their feature, so they cannot really snipe in the back, otherwise they get crappy DPM out of it. But star shaped barrel, bigger diameter on the outside compared to the inside. It is 100mm for the internal diameter and 160 something, 162 for the external diameter, but fantasy weapon. KPV machine gun on top. This vehicle looks more like a SU-122-54 than the 44, so the angled cheeks on the sides of the superstructure compared to the flat 𝗚𝗿cie, the SDP-58, the tech tree version. But commander cupola is still the weak spot, even though it's kind of small. It has 7 degrees gun depression, so kind of hide it with the superstructure in front, but 5 degrees per side of gun traverse arc, iconic for all the vehicles in the tech tree, so garbage. You have to turn the whole vehicle to adjust to targets, but this is aggressive. The downside to this vehicle is it has 120mm of frontal armor on paper, and that seems bad compared to 200 on the SDP-58 𝗚𝗍𝗇, which is effectively about 250. So if this thing has only 120 slope at the hull front, that would be kind of terrible for aggressive playstyle. You just get pinned by anything, right? So we'll have to see, but for now, yeah, it's like any other SU-122-ish inspired vehicle. Medium tank chassis with a superstructure and a large caliber gun, but it will eat 𝗚𝗿cie like any other Polish 𝗚𝗿cie𝗺, or even the Chinese 𝗚𝗿𝗇𝗺s with their superstructure. So all the 𝗚𝗿cie, it'll get pinned. But let's take a look at the stats. 700 alpha dropped down to 350, so by half, at a distance of, was it 500 meters? So APCR, gold APCR, and high explosive is high explosive, but shell velocity is quick. So with the shell tuning perk, that's even faster. That's like 1540 from the sandbox with the loader, right? But yeah, very quick shell velocity, even though sniping is not ideal because side to side gun traverse arc is crap, and base accuracy is also crap. You can snipe off like 100 health EBRs at a distance of like 500 meters, but you have to be pre-aimed at that spot. So yeah, aim time about the same as the 𝗚𝗍𝗇, but accuracy is worse. It has slightly better DPM than the 𝗚𝗍𝗇, so there's a trade-off, but not that much. 7 degrees gun depression, 15 elevation, as per usual. 40 rounds, 4-man crew, fits all the Polish 𝗚𝗿𝗺s. 40 km/h top speed, 15 reverse, about 14.7 horsepower per ton ratio, so slightly worse than the SDP-58, but not that much. They have about 15 or so, and the same top speed. Hull traverse, about the same. 1400 health, yep, it is aggressive, it has the health, not as much as a Ferdinand at 1500, but still, and only 120 at the hull front. That is a big kicker. I mean, the SDP-58 has 200 sloped at the hull front, effectively about 250. If that is true for this vehicle, only 120 at the hull front, that is bad. That is effectively about 170 or so, 180. And that's not going to stop anything at tier 8. I mean, maybe tier 7, maybe tier 6, right? But nothing will stop this vehicle from being penetrated by all the caliber of guns, other than light tanks. But Camo is about the same as the 𝗚𝗿cie, a little bit better, slightly. And view range is better by 20 meters or so. Was it 20 or 30? The view range on this thing is crap. Yeah, 20 more meters of view range than this. But actually, this thing has better camo. I thought it was 15%. Alright. Horsepower per ton ratio is actually also 14.4. I thought it was 15. Alright, I'm just being wrong today, I guess. So this vehicle seems like just another copy to stick at tier 8 as a premium, but yeah, the armor is the big downside. The rest of the stats seems on par, on average, the same as the 𝗚𝗿cie, right? As what you would expect out of a Polish TD at tier 8, but this armor is questionable. Unless it's like only 120 for this plate right here, and the rest is like 200, we can talk, right? It will be decent for front lines because you don't have high tier vehicles with higher penetration gold shell that goes through your superstructure. But yeah, we'll have to see. Lower plate seems a little bit smaller than the 𝗚𝗿cie, slightly. I mean, effective armor wise, it's about 170 for the lower plate and 230 for the middle parts, and 250, 240 or so, depending on the angle. But if it's only 120, like I said, it is crap. So we'll have to see with the actual armor. But for now, I'll be cautious and just say armor is kind of questionable. But yeah, okay, better horsepower per ton ratio. I thought it was 15 on average. Okay, 14.4, 51 tons. That is surprisingly heavy. 48. Oh, 48 total. 45. Interesting. Theoretically, you could go ramming, but mostly against medium tanks. Camo is not as good. Alright. And view range is better, but view range by 20 meters is kind of a big deal. 350 is blind. It's like Russian heavy tanks, but that is more workable. It's not great by all means, but it's more workable than 350. It is assault tank destroyer, the same crew loadout. The commander is also the radio operator, but I mean, the 𝗚𝗿cie is more like a 5.5, maybe a 6 on a good day. But this vehicle feels questionable, mostly because the armor. If the armor was the same, then it feels basically a carbon copy of the SDP-58, and that would be it. I mean, it's a premium tank. You play around with the mechanics, see if you like it. If you don't, then you won't go up the actual tech tree. But yeah, it's going to be half a year after the debut of the Polish tech tree to see this vehicle, so complete opposite of the shipped TVP 100. Where's the tech tree of the Czech tank destroyers? I have no idea. It's been like what, 4 years? 3 years at least? I don't know. So the same playstyle as the 𝗚𝗿cie practically. You have a rammer, you have optics, and maybe vents or turbocharger for equipments. They are more or less aggressive with their playstyle, so usually I fit the optics and the vents. This is the tier 7. I haven't made my way up to the 𝗚𝗿cie yet, but usually you want rammer, optics. Optics on these vehicles are crap. Also, what's funny is most of the radio on low tier Polish TDs are kind of garbage. I mean, it's already getting slightly better at tier 7, but tier 6, tier 5, their radio is crap. So there's nothing to boost radio range, obviously, but yeah, you don't usually use that. It's already out of the meta anyways. But turbocharger might be a good option. I saw people using improved rotation mechanism to help out with the dispersion and faster traverse with the 5 degrees per side gun angles, but that's up to you. So yeah, this thing would perform with better dispersion. Is it better dispersion? Put the dispersion stuff on. What the hell? Refresh. And it broke. God damn it. Alright, let's just put this thing on. Come on. There we go. So 0.22 to 0.19. Yeah, it's a little bit more respectable and faster traverse for the hull. But yeah, I would like rammer, obviously. Possibly optics. Optics is kind of necessary for garbage view range. But for this vehicle, you could use improved rotation mechanism or vents. Vents help out with the base accuracy and the aim time, but not as much with dispersion. So this is a toss-up for you. Vents or improved rotation mechanism, maybe even turbocharger, but optics and rammer is a definite must. So let's take a look at assault tank destroyers at tier 8. It's like the T-28 or something, but assault tier 8 TDs. They all have about the same loadout or field mods, but first one is obvious, better terrain resistance and track durability. It says hull traverse speed goes down, but effective traverse goes up, so trust me on it. It's not even funny at this point. We've gone through so many tank destroyers. So click on, let's remove everything. Remove everything. And you'll see that if you choose the first one, effective traverse is about 30 on hard. If you choose supposedly better hull traverse speed, effective traverse is down to 24. So it's night and day effective traverse based on terrain resistance. So on paper, yes, you have better hull traverse, but effectively you have worse. So choose the first one. It's not even a question at this point. This is terrible. This needs to be rebalanced. This is a gimmick. This sucks. Aim time or accuracy? Now, usually you want accuracy for sniping, but it's already close range. So accuracy is 0.4 on this vehicle. I would still say better accuracy at the cost of aim time. Hitting weak spots might be kind of important, but forego some of the aim time, right? Some. Ugh. I mean, aim time is faster than the 𝗚𝗿cie by 0.2 seconds. So I would say forego some of the aim time for better accuracy. And finally, view range or concealment after firing. After firing, concealment is garbage. Usually it is utter crap. It's 2.3 on this vehicle, so don't even think about it. Just go with better view range. Always could use more view range, right? Yeah, it needs more view range. Yeah, it only goes up like 0.2% of stationary. That's nothing. That's garbage. View range. Buff the view range on the third slot for field mods, but yeah, this vehicle feels kind of meh. I mean, it's okay. It's like a versatile almost, like a WZ-120 1GFT. This thing has like 120, right? 120 hull front. So this is like practically the same armor, right? I don't know. So there might be some questionable armor on this vehicle, but if it's 120, then it's even worse than the sloping on this thing, right? The sloping on this thing is about 210mm effective, so could bounce a few medium tank shells sometimes, but heavy tank shells with like 250 or so millimeters of a pin will go through, other than the mantlet. But yeah, the armor on this vehicle doesn't seem that great. So sloping wise, doesn't seem that well sloped as well. It's like a 4.5. If the armor holds up, if the armor is about effectively the same as the 𝗚𝗿cie, and only the 120 pertains to only this plate right here, and the rest is like 200, then we'll talk. That is like a 5.5, about the same as the 𝗚𝗿cie, right? Performs about the same, nothing too out of the ordinary or extreme like the BZ-176, so nothing too crazy, but for now, it feels like a 4.5, mostly because the armor seems iff, right? The armor seems pretty iff. I'm skeptical. If the armor is that bad, you're not that aggressive. You're not as aggressive with this thing, or like this thing, right? This thing is somewhat aggressive. You could bounce a few shots with the 250mm effective superstructure. I mean, that works. Usually the 𝗚𝗿cie unbalanced Tier 8 vehicles are about 250, 260 or so. So angle a little bit, you could bounce sometimes. But for 120mm baseline, that is kind of crap. So it's more pyramidal of a triangular shape, so less of a cross section compared to the 𝗚𝗍. But yeah, 120 scares me. It's taking away all the effective playstyle with the gun, so it doesn't work. It's not compatible. Unless this vehicle has armor, you're not being too aggressive. You're sniping the back. So foregoing all the DPM, foregoing all the advantage of playing Polish Tier VIII, which is being aggressive. So 4.5 for now, but we'll have to see the actual armor. So there we go, folks. The SDP WZ66, the Grom. It's okay, I guess. It's 4.5, mostly because of the armor. Otherwise, all the other stats on par with the 𝗚𝗍. Just the armor seems off. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
約束